Hi, this is Dorothy Smith, and I am going to go over a cutting guides for making 3 layouts and 10 cards. Now this is using one of our brand new papers called Happiness Lives Here. So I am using the Happiness Lives Here card making stamp set, which has thin cuts to it, so we'll work on that later. And I'm also using the Happiness Lives Here wood shapes. So now if you wanted to follow this video yourself, then you would need to get the Happiness Lives Here wood shapes, the Happiness Lives Here coordinating cardstock, and 3 pieces of white daisy cardstock, which you probably have in your stash. If you don't, it's also available online to buy. And the Happiness Lives Here paper pack that has the stickers with it. So you get the 6 pieces that are front and back. And front and back, and then front and back. So I am going to, these, just so you know, these are not in the catalog, these layouts. These are layouts that Close to My Heart did for the consultants, and I wanted to share them with you. So if you would rather not get the big workshops, you can still work with the papers, which, you know, the papers are less expensive with the cardstock. And I will do, just so you know, I will do the workshop as soon as I get it I have it delivered to me. So I've been kind of behind the 8 ball here. Just because actually this Facebook Live, that if you're a Close to My Heart maker, used to be consultant but maker, then you would have, and you registered for the launch bundle, then you would get a chance to see all these papers 2 months ahead of everybody else. And then you would work with, on the Facebook Live, it's really tons of fun, work with the people at corporate to make these layouts so you can work along with them. So I'm just kind of showing you. I didn't do it because, as it turns out, they did it 2 days after my surgery. And so I was in no shape to do that. So I did my 3rd of 4 radiation treatments yesterday. So I'm almost finished. This Thursday I'll be finished with that's exciting to me. Okay, so I'm going to take the first strip and the zip strip and cut it down to 9.5 inches. Okay, there's one, and then Ginger's talking. I don't know if you can hear her in the background. So this one's going to be 2 inches. Two, 1.5. Well, let me just do the 7. There's 1.5. And then 7.25. Okay, and then we do this zip strip, and that's going to be 5 1/4 and 2 3/4. I love this zip strip with that wood look. And then we've got the green stripe. That looks like pajamas to me. So 4 1/4, 2, and 2. Okay. I'm putting all of my scraps behind me on a table so I don't get confused, because good grief, I can get confused. Okay, the first cut we're going to make is 4 by 12. And this paper, it doesn't matter, it goes both ways, always. Yeah, it goes all ways. So 4 by 12. And what you could do, the next one is going to be 1 1/4, which I go on the other side here. This is to 1 1/2 at the very edge here. So 1 1/4. And 1 1/4, and then 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch, and we're just going to go ahead and cut. Let me see, and then the next cut is going to be at 4 inches. And so I'm going to set this piece aside, turn this around, and cut 4 inches. I'm making the cuts for scrapbooking and for card making. The cards are really cute. And so the way I do the diagonal cut, so you do a square, and then you put the points into where the cutting divot is, line up your rail with the points, and then cut right through. And there you've got great triangle. So this is for 2B, and then, so this one needs to be 4, and I've got that already, 4 by 5 1/4. And then once again, I'm going to do a diagonal. Point to point along the rail, and then cut. And you get, I don't know what I did. I left a little. Anyway, this side is perfect. So that's going to be for a card. Now I'm going to set that over here. And then this is 1 1/4 by 3/4, so a little bitty piece. And that's for number 1. I haven't lined out my layout 1, layout 2, layout 3. So I'm going to get confused. This is what you can do. This is what my husband got me for Christmas. It actually is for holding lipsticks. Yeah, I think he got it on Amazon. It's for holding lipsticks, but I'm using it to hold journaling pens, various brushes, and a pencil. So let's just go ahead and, this is going to be 3A, and 1B, one I guess that's an I or an L, and then, but this one you use this side, so this is going to be 1C and 1J. Okay, and this is 1F. Okay, so there's 1. And then these are for 2. And this one is for 3. So I'm going to have piles for 1, 2, 3 up the top. Okay. Now I will tell you that I'll provide a PDF of the entire cutting guide with all of the items that you need to do these layouts. So let's see. This is 7 by 7. So there's 7. So I'm going to do a full cut of 7. And then I'm going to turn it around for another 7-inch cut. And then that's going to get a diagonal. We know how to do that. Point to point. And these are both (2A) and 2E. And then this is going to be, let's see, what does it need to be? 4 3/4. So I'm going to cut it to 4 3/4, flip it around to 3 1/2. I like it when papers can go either which way. So this goes to, oh, this is 11A, so that's for a card. So I'll just set that aside completely. And then this is 4. By 5 1/4. And 5 1/4. And then we're going to take the 1 and do a diagonal. And so this is going to be 5A. And 10A. I love this. I think this is such cute paper. So this is going to be cut at 5 1/4. And you get a really big scrap from that, so that's great. And then, what did I do? I did 5 1/4 rather than 4. That's okay. So now I'm going to do 4. And then 3 3/4 by 5. And this is 12A, except it really should be and 7A. Next paper is this. So the back is supposed to go like this when you cut that. So we're going to put it in like this. Okay, and it's going to be 1 1/4. It's going to go into block 1. 1 1/4, and then 1/4 of an inch, that goes into 3, and 1/4 of an inch, always make sure you've got your paper snug up against the edge there. Okay, and then we're going to do a cut that is 5 inches across. And the first cut is going to be 3 3/4. Going to use this side, so this is 6A. That one's hard to see. And then 1 inch. And that's going to go to number 3. And then 1/2 inch. This is a complicated cut. So it's going to be 1/2 inch. And then it's going to get cut down to 5 1/2. And this is 9A card. And then this little piece is going to be 1 inch. And believe it or not, this gets cut down to 1/4 of an inch. Let's see if it'll stay in place. No. Well, that was dumb. Yeah, we'll try that again. This is the tail end, so 1 inch. Well, okay, there we go. 2/4 inch, tiny little pieces that are going to be in 3. And then four and 3/4. And this is going to be 4A. And then with this piece, this is going to be 2.5 inches. Okay, so we've got 2.5 inches. And this is scrap. And this gets cut down to 11 inches. So I'm just taking 1 inch off here. And this goes to 3D. So I'll put it in my 3 pile. And then we're going to go on to, so I think I set these aside. I think we've got a lot of paper left here. That's fun. Okay, so the first cardstock we're going to use, let me show you what comes in the cardstock, the coordinating cardstock for Happiness Lives Here. So you're going to get 3 pieces of each color. So you've got paprika, sage, peach, and bluebell, our color of the year. So, and then they all have, of course, the lighter side. So it's like that. Like that. Now look at how pretty that, what a combination. And then there's the, it's not a whole lot lighter. A little bit. And then paprika. It's a little bit, like a shade lighter. Okay, so let's see. We're going to take paprika. And we're going to do 8 by 8. I can do that. That's easy. Okay. And that goes in pile 3. And they want you to use the lighter side. So I'll put the 3E on the darker side. Kind of remind myself. Okay, so now this gets a 1 inch piece. 1 inch by 3 3/4. And this is for 8B. And then 3 by 2 3/4. So 3 by 2 3/4. And this is for 9D. And then a itty bitty piece. It's like 1/2 inch. Let's just do it this way. Half inch. By 3/4 of an inch. What's with these little bitty pieces? And that goes into pile 1. Three by 2 3/4. And this is on 9D. Or did I do that one already? I may have done that already. Oh well. Okay, so that's that paprika. Another piece of paprika is 6 3/4, which is kind of hard to find, but it's like right there. 6 3/4 by 8 3/4. And this is for pile 1. And then this is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. And then another piece of paprika, and this is easy. This is 7 1/2. Whoops. By 7 1/2. And that's going to go into pile 3. And then we've got peach. So looks like 2 pieces of peach. First one is 3/4 of an inch by 12. Goes in pile 1. Three-fourths of an inch by 12 goes in pile 1. Seven 1/2 by 9 1/2. Goes in pile 2. That's going to be right in front of me. And then 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch wide. By 3 1/2. So these 2 are for 13. F and E goes in the card pile. And this is going to be 2 3/4 inches. Lost my place. So I'm just going to be taking off like 1/4 of an inch here. And then flip it around to do a 4. That's going to be 7D card, and then three and 3/4. 3 3/4 by 2.5. And this is 12. So that goes in the card section. And then this little bitty piece is going to get cut down to 3 inches. And that is going to be 6C. Goes in the card pile. And then another piece of peach. Okay, these are a little bit easier cuts. So we're going to have 3/4, 3 1/4 inch, 3 1/4. So 3 1/4. Flip it around. So 3 1/4. 3 1/4. 3 1/4. So this is going to be the light card stock. So this is 3F, 3G, 3H. And then we've got 6 1/4, 6 1/4. Stop it. 4 1/4. 4 1/4, and then flip it around to get 6 1/4. Got the 6 1/4. That's going to go as 3R. And then 4 1/4. I don't know how I did that. That's okay. 4 1/4 by, yeah, because that one's short. So this gets 3 1/4. By 3 1/4. And this is going to be HI. These are scraps. And then this should be 4 1/4. Trim down to 4 1/4. There's going to be like 1/4 of an inch left. Flip it around and get, oh God, this is so boring. I'm sorry. 6 1/4. But you'll be able to put these pages together with all this information. Cutting is so boring, but you know, if you mess up, it can really set you off. Okay, so we're going to cut a piece that's 5 1/4. Got a big scrap left over. there's a ton of stuff that you can make with all of this. I hate these 7 1/4 measurements because it's like right in the middle of nowhere on my cutter. And this is for 2C. Okay, now we're going to do Bluebell, and we're going to cut on the light side. And so the first cut we're going to do is one, well, poo. Quarter of an inch. And we just take a tad, oh no, that gets cut into 2 pieces. So it gets cut into a 7 1/2. That goes in 3. And then this should be 4. Oh, so there's just going to be a 3 and 3. Boy, that's an itty bitty piece left. Okay, the next cut is going to be 1 1/2. So I'm going to come over on this side and do a 1 1/2 inch. And then flip it around to get cut at 5 1/2. Well, 5 1/2. And this is going to be cord. And then this leftover piece is going to get cut down to 4 inches. By 3/4 of an inch. 1/4 before 1. Put this in scrap. And then this is going to get labeled 7B, and we're going to use, I'm going to mark it on the dark side. There we go. Okay, so the next strip is going to be 3 inches. So we've got 3 inches. Whoops, sorry. 3 inches. And then 4 1/4. It's 10C. Actually, that was actually 4 inches, 3 by 4, and then three by 4 1/4. Did I do that right? I confused myself. 5B. And then 3 3/4. By 5 inches. And that's going to be using the dark side, so I'm marking on the light side 13A, so that's for a cord. All right, now we're going to use one and a half inches. flip it around and do 3 inches. And that's going to be for 11C. And we're going to use the light side, so 11C is going to be on the dark side. And then 4 inches by 1/2 inch. And that is going to be for 7C, and we're using, I'll mark it on the dark side, 7C. Hey. Okay, so these are the 2 bluebells and the 2 sages, I think, are going to be background papers. And 2 of the whites are going to be background papers also. So keep that over there. And then here comes the last cutting sheet. So let me just do that. And we'll have the cutting out of the way, except for, what do you call it? Die cuts. Okay, so the first one is going to be 4 inches. 4. The next one is going to be what? 4. Three and 3/4. So this is going to be 10D, 4B, 5C. And then 3.5. Three and a half by 4 3/4, and that's going to be 13B. And then 3.5 by 2 1/4 is going to be 12D. And then 3 by 4 1/4 and it's just 3. So 3/8 is right in between. So I'm cutting a piece that's 3/8 of an inch and by 3.5. And this is going to be 13D. And then this should be 4 1/4, okay, by 3. Okay, and that's, what is that? This is 6B. Okay, now we're going to do 3 inches. I need to take a rest after this. Okay, so 3 by 3. I like the white because you don't have to flip it over. 2I is going to go in the 2 pile. And then we've got 2.5 inches. Flip it around, 2.5 inches, and 3 by 3/4 is 7E. Two and a half by 2 3/4 is 9E. And this is 1/2 inch, I hope. Yeah. And then it's going to get cut down to 3.5. Three and a half, that's 13C. And 1.5. Is 8C. Okay, so this strip, this is going to be on the die cut machine. I think I'm going to do that one off camera because it's completely in another room. So I will do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here are all the pieces I cut. So they are going to be a thank you and hello. So thank you and hello you. So anyway, and then we will stamp those later. So we've got all the cutting done. Yay. So I will get something to eat and be back. Bye.